are the stories we're covering this week in the Category 5.tv newsroom. In what could be called a major design fail, a proof of concept has shown that a compromised charger could be used to take control of a modern laptop. A software bug at a large U.S. bank has resulted in hundreds of people losing their homes. Nintendo is suing retro game ROM distributors. And Patrick Stewart is returning to Star Trek with a new series focused on the next chapter of Captain Picard's life. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
Jeff Weston,
Yeah, man.
you're building a brand new, beautiful website.
What?
Aren't you?
No. Am I?
Oh, you're a terrible actor.
What?
This is where acting comes into play.
Oh, I didn't know we were acting.
You're supposed to act.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I'm building a really cool website. Are you building a really cool website? Just because Jeff is confused doesn't mean you have to be. Visit cat5.tv/dreamhost to sign up for unlimited web hosting for your website with unlimited email accounts, MySQL databases, the latest version of PHP, WordPress, and more, and even a free domain name registration. It's less than $6 per month, so sign up today. cat5.tv/dreamhost.
This is the Category 5.tv newsroom, covering the week's top tech stories with a slight Linux bias.
I'm Sasha Rickman, and here are the top stories we're following this week. A neat feature of many modern laptops is the ability to power them up through the USB port. Unlike the rectangular USB ports of old, the newer type, USB-C, can carry enough power to charge your machine. That's great news. It means you don't have to add a separate port just for charging, and when the USB port isn't being used for power, it can be used for something useful like plugging in a hard drive or your phone. But while you and I might look at that as an improvement, hackers see it as an opportunity to exploit a new vulnerability. One researcher who goes by the name MG has demonstrated how a MacBook charger could be booby-trapped, modified in a way that it would be possible for to hijack a user's computer without them having any idea it was happening. This is a massive concern since the ubiquitous chargers for MacBooks are seen in offices and coffee shops the world over. They're borrowed, lost, and replaced on a regular basis. MG gutted the inside of the charger and filled it with small components that are powered up when the unsuspecting victim connects it to their computer. It's extremely hard to detect, especially since it still charged the laptop as normal. The hijacking device was able to insert a fake login screen into a website. He could use this method to scoop up whatever data the user had entered into the fake site. MG said, "In the demo, we're just capturing a username and password, but this could also inject malware, rootkits, and persistent types of infections that could be malicious." While early in the testing phase, he predicts the attack would likely work on any machine that uses USB-C to get its power, saying, in this case it's an Apple, but it works in HP, Lenovo, and a lot of others.
Yikes. Okay.
Big
Didn't
yikes.
think of that.
Right. So really, like, common sense would say, if you know that this is happening, the power is with you now, because knowledge is power. You keep your charger with you all the time. You don't use anybody else's, right? It has to become a protected piece of equipment for you now.
But how many times have you gone into places and seen, like, charging stations? It's like, hey, charge your phone.
Kiosks everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, how do you know that what you're plugging into is actually legit safe?
Right, so here's the thing. In my mind, it's the spot that plugs into the laptop that's compromised.
I know exactly how it happens now. I had to get on here.
Right.
I'm on apple.com.
Okay.
Well, that's a whole lot of white.
USB.
You can't really see it.
USB-C power adapter. $79.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
Kiosk in the mall. $15.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. Exactly.
Some obscure Chinese manufacturer on Amazon. $12. Free shipping.
Yep.
And your firstborn child.
That's frightening.
Yeah.
So we understand how this works. I mean, a USB port is universal serial bus. That's what it stands for. You can plug in a printer, you can plug in a camera, you can plug in your phone, you can plug in your charger and now charge your MacBook or presumably a desktop or a laptop computer.
Yeah.
Now install something in there. We've heard about devices that you plug it into a USB port and it will fry the whole computer.
Yes.
What if they did that?
Yeah. So you really You cannot ever at this point.
Sorry. Choked on air. I know, it's tragic, man. How can they charge $79 for these darn things?
You cannot ever buy a cheap charger. That's it now. And you have to keep yours on you. You can't use one that somebody just gives you, lends you if it comes,
Yeah.
But
how would you know?
My question really to
they
you
need testers.
is, can it be on the other side, right? So this here plugs in,
Yeah.
right? But the other side, you know how they have the ports in like the bus terminals and they have them in, can it be
Sure.
on the other side too?
That's
Yeah, why
the
not?
thing. Yeah.
So you
an
have to
in-wall outlet that is USB that you can plug your charger into.
So everything.
Yeah.
Can be malware.
Right.
This is what's happening, and this is the fear, because these are exploits that are in the wild now. People are saying, if you see a USB port in a wall at a coffee shop, do not plug into it.
So if I used an external battery, like one of those, remember I have one of those,
like a 10,000 milliamp hour battery that you charge at home and then take it with you and charge your device.
That'd be the safest then.
Yeah, but who's got
as long as it's, it could be a device that's Easter egged as well.
Oh.
Sure.
Right?
Unless you built it yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's all because of the USB connection.
Next week
Now,
we'll be building our own.
Well, and so that's what I'm wondering is there a way of somebody creating a little dongle for the edge of the connector before you plug it into your device? It's like something that checks to make sure that no feed gets through.
What if we designed, and we can do this right now, right here, an adapter cable, 3-inch little dongle, that you plug your USB-C, or maybe you plug it into your charger, and then you plug your USB cable into that, and it only gives you the two outer...
Right, and there's no data transmission.
There's no data.
Something simple like that.
The two outer
That's smart.
terminals on USB is power, 5 volts power.
Right.
But it would have to be on the end that goes into your device, because if you go to like a charger station, you don't necessarily see the end or where you would plug in the USB, because some of them have cables built in. So you just stick your device there.
Yeah.
So I think
it could be done.
It could be.
We could actually create a device that allows you to know that you're safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, maybe someone is already doing that, but we need to patent this now.
Well, we've already mentioned it.
Garby mentioned it first.
What did he say?
You can get a USB condom.
It
sits
condom.
between your
Is that what
device
they call it?
and whatever you're plugging into. It filters connection to power only.
I came up with the idea. I didn't think to name it a condom. Okay, so they have a data protector condom.
Huh.
Come on now. It's
$7 plus shipping.
That's perfect.
$7 for a data protector condom, which could in itself be an Easter egg. It's on eBay.
Oh.
No, I'm playing with you at this
Don't
point.
do that.
When you do a search, you also get Durex and... So that's interesting. So the device actually already exists, and it makes sense. We could just pull those inner port.
But the fact is, though, when you look at that device, it's still USB. So it would it could
USB,
still very much transmit data.
You're trusting the manufacturer,
right?
If you made it yourself, you know that there's only two contacts: 5 volt positive, 5 volt minus.
Garby did link one that he likes.
Oh yeah? Well, thanks, Garby. We will we'll take a look.
Let's
Something
do that.
like this.
This is
Charge
good.
safely. Okay, so they've got them here. So we've got all kinds of neat little nifty things. Same kind of
that's
deal.
the one I'm talking about right there, going into the side of the MacBook.
Jeff is pointing to this little guy over here.
Yep, that's the one I was thinking. Something like that.
There you go. That is obscene.
Huh.
That's not a condom. That is like
A wall.
yeah. That's massive, ridiculous. I'm thinking more like a little cable.
That's what I had pictured. Yeah.
But still, this would be a great gift for anybody.
Sure it would. Yeah. And that's a prototype, we'll say.
Yeah.
We'll see them get thinner.
Have you noticed how we've had a few good ideas on the show that people just happen to get to just before us?
I know. We need to really stop talking about things and then time traveling.
I know. It's true.
It's a good idea.
I'm still convinced that one hack where everybody had the same password, I'm convinced we figured that one out.
All right.
That was like 2 years ago. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember anything.
Where everybody had the same password, like the number 3 password in all the world.
Yeah.
was like
Oh yeah, what we can.
Oh, right.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we came up with that
Watch
solution.
that back. That was really interesting.
I still think yep.
Can I interrupt you for a second for the next news story, perhaps?
Fine.
Do you want to actually do the news, Sasha?
Maybe a little.
Do we need to stay on track here?
A flaw in a U.S. bank's computer software led to 625 customers not receiving government loan assistance to which they were entitled, and 400 of those lost their homes as a result. The government scheme was designed to help people struggling to pay their mortgages. Wells Fargo, which is the third largest bank in the U.S., said that there was no clear direct cause and effect relationship between the error and the loss of homes. However, compensation is being offered, negating that claim. The bank has set aside $8 million to compensate those affected by the software error, which existed between April 2010 and October 2015. Wells Fargo revealed the information in its latest quarterly financial report and said that there were continuing efforts to identify other customers who might also have been affected. In April 2018, it was fined $1 billion by 2 U.S. regulators to resolve investigations into car insurance and mortgage lending breaches.
Okay.
That is bad.
But is $8 million going to cover it?
No, but let me get this straight. Let's just back up just for 1 second. We didn't do this thing, but here's $8 million to sweep it under the rug, and we're also investigating to see who else is affected.
Yep, exactly.
But
It wasn't us.
Didn't do it. We're just
It
doing.
wasn't us.
We're just as a bank.
'Cause
We're
if
just
they-
doing charitable efforts to help these.
If they apologize,
Right.
then they're accepting responsibility. If they accept responsibility,
Nobody corporately
then they're gonna-
apologizes
No.
anymore.
So
They just
they're-
throw money out there and put a gag clause on it.
I don't understand how a bug like this, how this happened, when people should be like.
I
are
am
there
a
not-
programmer for a living,
Yes.
and I do not want to be that programmer.
Right.
I have made mistakes that have resulted in, minor issues and maybe a site going down or something that I can fix within a day, and nothing like
400
people losing their homes.
But here's
This poor guy has turned to the bottle.
But 400 people, and they're putting up $8 million.
Yeah, but they don't have any. That's charity.
400 people is not going to be able to take that $8 million and recover.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
My heart goes out to the people who lost their homes
Yep.
because of a flaw in programming.
Right.
Right? Like,
And you say, well, I don't know how this happened. So thinking about the actual happenstance,
yeah.
government funding comes in and says, you can buy a home. We have the funding for you. Here it is.
Right.
Go put down your deposit. Go buy your home.
Yeah.
Get yourself moved in and everything. We'll take care of the rest. Then the bank, after you've done all that,
Just.
we have no record of that. We don't know anything about that.
I will say, though, I'm a little bit shocked that there wasn't some sort of a paper trail.
Well,
Who knows, Jeff? Everything's digital these days. But whether you have...
When I go to buy a
who
house, there's
knows?
tons of paperwork.
I know. There's something that we don't know here.
Yeah.
There's a lot that we don't know here, but what we
Hence the
do
$8 million
know...
is who's not responsible.
That's right.
Yeah. And I've had things happen where, I've had service disconnection, for example.
Right.
For an invoice that I never received,
Right. Okay.
which is
Oh, okay.
infuriating. And okay, if you had to just let me know,
Right.
I'll pay the bill, and I'll even pay the reconnection fee, because I'm not dinking around, but make sure I have the bill. And don't just cut me off if I, do your due diligence to, you didn't hear from me, or I didn't pay like I do every single month. Something obviously is up. So look
Right.
into it. So if these people have now bought a house and they've got their bill and they're defunct on it and they're waiting for the check from the bank, or who knows
However
how
it
it went
works.
down. But if that's the case, a slight example that has, everything's fine, but just an example of how the government and things can screw up. Category 5 was audited during our tax season this year.
Right.
During that process, they withheld my personal income tax return.
What?
Because Category 5 was being audited.
Right.
So does that
Wow.
make... So do you see what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So something that's completely unrelated to my personal life in that, from a financial standpoint, is now affecting my personal life.
Right.
And we're waiting on that, and we know that, okay, this is going toward this, but it took 4 months to get here when it was supposed to take 4 days. That's the kind of scenario. So now, good news for those of you who are wondering, why did Category 5 get audited? There was an error with our accountant. They fixed it, and we actually got a return.
Awesome.
Because the government audited us and saw, we owe you money, which... Yes, that's the way to have it.
That's
right?
the way to end the story. Well,
I've never yet been audited where it hasn't turned out that the government owes me money.
That's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Audit me every year, government.
Like I'm going to say I've lucked out because I think I've got really good records, but yeah.
That's just my little scenario of how my personal life can be affected by a government screw up.
Right, and that ended in a positive note, but for 400 people,
it
they
did
lost
not.
their homes.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't relying on that tax return to pay my bills.
Right.
I have income elsewhere. Now, these are low-income housing, right? So these are people who don't necessarily have a lot of money to... they're needing this. I need this money to pay for this house that I just got.
The part that breaks my heart about it is... that they're people with stories, and now they're without a home. Like, who knows what situation they're in now? And my mind goes to these crazy places. And here's Wells Fargo saying, it wasn't us. Here, have some money.
Yeah.
A little bit late because these people are probably homeless.
Could be.
In a lawsuit filed in late July by Nintendo of America against 2 ROM distributing websites, the company states that the sites are built almost entirely on the brazen and mass-scale infringement of Nintendo's intellectual property rights. Those who run the sites, though, have a different story. By law, Nintendo is well within their rights to defend their property when someone else is distributing it without permission. What the lawsuit doesn't touch on, however, according to those who run the sites, is that the value that they have when it comes to the preservation of older video games. A ROM is essentially a copy of the video game software that can run on a computer with the help of an emulation program. Emulators like those provided in RetroPie are legal as long as they don't actually offer the games themselves, just a way to play them. People can also legally dump their games in order to play them on the emulator as long as they own a physical copy. Distributing those dumped ROMs, however, is the illegal part. The lawsuit, which asks for $150,000 for each game ROM that was hosted on the site and $2 million for infringing on the trademark, has caused other sites to disable access to their ROM library. One such site is Emu Paradise, founded in 2000. The site's goal, according to the founder, has been the preservation of old games to give people the opportunity to enjoy the favorites of their youths. The site's founder, who goes by the username MassJ, says the consequences now far outweigh the benefits when it comes to hosting ROMs. Video game preservation has always been a tough beast. In the early 1980s, there were more video games than people playing them, causing a crash in the market. A large portion of the games released at that time were lost as companies folded and their archives were deleted. Now, when a copy of an old game is found, people upload the game data to sites like Emu Paradise in order to preserve the games on them. Video game companies have begun to copy the Netflix formula for retro game preservation, though it's a slow process. For example, PlayStation has begun to make older games available through their PlayStation Now streaming service, and Nintendo will soon be implementing Nintendo Switch Online, which will open up a library of retro games to stream to the Switch console.
It's a sad day.
It's a bad, sad moment. So...
if you watch episode number 569 of Category 5 Technology TV, we talked a little bit about the whole scenario with retro gaming and the problem that this raises. But when you have preservation that is being attacked by the copyright holders of something that's that old, like 30 years and plus.
Right.
So
it's like nobody's going to want to play Snooki like I do.
The problem I have with this is it's not the idea that, Nintendo's saying, hey, you can't do this. It's the fact that the numbers are so outrageous. The fact that they're saying 150,000 per ROM. Like, I'm sorry, there's no way you can say you've lost out on $150,000 in revenue in that one game when you haven't made it in 30 freaking years.
Right.
Like, there's no way they could justify, I mean, granted, I don't get into this realm, but there's no way they could justify loss of revenue.
Don't get us wrong. We are all for protecting copyright and intellectual property, and, I understand that. But these are things that are considered by society as abandonware.
Yeah.
It's like, I think about music from hundreds of years ago, and, like Happy Birthday was... it was ridiculous that people were getting sued for singing Happy Birthday. And that's no longer a thing. But doesn't that just make you go crazy?
Yes.
I can't help but wonder, though, if the only reason they've done this is to get the sites, the sites.
To our UK viewers, I am so sorry. I will whip them in the finger.
To get the sites shut down simply because they've released these games on their units. If they hadn't have released those units, say like 3-4 years ago, they didn't care.
Sure.
They weren't looking at it.
This is why they did it. This is why they brought out those new NES minis.
So then what it should be is a cease and desist order, not a lawsuit like this.
Yeah.
Like, you want to protect your stuff, fine, go for it. You're totally entitled to that. But go about it in a way that doesn't make you look like the big bully on the block.
Right.
That's my issue. That's my biggest issue with this.
It's not like Nintendo is some little floundering company that's just trying to just make its way in the world. You have enough money.
Right.
Like, you don't need more. You're fine.
Yeah, like the
You're gonna be okay.
number one selling console.
You're going to be okay. I have a Switch. I like it. But I also have a Retro Pi, and I love that. Don't take that away from me.
Let's see what happens to Emu Paradise. They shut down.
Yep.
The site is still up, but you can't download any ROMs. What if Nintendo is taking an approach of, let's play the brute force, come in with ridiculous lawsuits.
Right.
Because they know, maybe, this is just a theory, but what if they know that Emu Paradise would just stop operations? And then it would trickle down, and other sites would go, oh, no, I don't want this to happen to me.
Well,
because then I'm going to get hit with this billion-dollar lawsuit.
Case in point, Napster.
Going back.
The same impact happened with Napster.
Yeah.
Napster got sued by the music industries, and a lot of those sharing sites, boom, gone.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you've got the rise in like Apple Music and all that. So, I mean, and from the news story, it appears to be the case.
So Nintendo, if you're watching, I want to see, like the app stores, 99-cent ROMs.
Sure.
I want to see a repository that has thousands of them.
Yep.
Just make them available. They're abandonware. You don't care about them.
Yeah.
Come on. Give them out for ridiculously cheap, and they will sell.
Absolutely. I would totally buy ROMs at 99 cents each.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don't be a jerk.
Don't be a jerk, Nintendo. We love you, and we want to continue loving you.
That's right. And please release Dark Souls. Come on.
Personal request from Sasha.
Sir Patrick Stewart will reprise his iconic role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in a new Star Trek series.
Oh my goodness. Sasha! What have you done?
Show's over, folks.
Just say that Gandalf is coming back to Star Wars. Oh my goodness, Sasha!
Okay.
On behalf of Category 5 TV, I would like to apologize to all viewers everywhere, to Patrick himself. Sir, we apologize.
There are some no-nos in life, and that is one of them.
For the record, I love Star Trek.
You don't even know.
You just had a Freudian slip of Star Wars.
I only saw Star Wars for the first time
You
last
should be
year.
crying.
It's fresher for me.
That was a
Glasses
travesty.
are all foggy now. Listen, Star Wars is fresher for me because I only just watched it last year.
All right, listen up, kids. I think the point she's trying to make is if you're familiar with Star Wars and you like Star Wars, you will love Star Trek.
That's right.
Because it's better. Go ahead.
Can you rewind a little bit?
I gotta go back?
Okay, I just want to say.
Okay.
Iconic. Okay.
You owe the viewers an apology, little miss.
I am sorry. They're boboth good, but Star Trek is better.
You don't say I'm sorry, but.
I'm sorry, and.
Oh, I'm unplugging my mic. I'm done.
Okay.
Patrick Stewart is reprising his role. Oh,
his iconic role as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in a new Star Trek series for CBS All Access. Stewart made the announcement at a Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. Stewart noted that when he filmed Star Trek Nemesis in 2002, he felt that his time with Star Trek had run its natural course. In a follow-up statement, he said, "It is, therefore, an unexpected but delightful surprise to find myself excited and invigorated to be returning to Jean-Luc Picard and to explore new dimensions within him." Stewart first took on the role of the iconic Star Trek captain in 1987 and remained on the show over the duration of its 7-year run through 1994 and starred in the 4 films that followed it: Star Trek Generation, Star Trek First Contact, Star Trek Insurrection, and Star Trek Nemesis. Star Trek The Next Generation was the long-awaited follow-up to the original Star Trek series of the 1960s and set in 2364, 99 years after the adventures of Captain James T. Kirk and the crew of the Enterprise. This new show won't be a reboot, but an exploration of the next chapter of Picard's life. At the convention, Stewart indicated that none of the scripts for the show have been written yet, and that it will be something very different, but it will come to you with the same passion. Kurtzman will oversee the show and will be assisted by Star Trek Discovery executive producer James Duff, former Discovery executive producer Akiva Goldsman, writer Michael Chabon, and Discovery writer Kirsten Bayer. No word yet on when the new series will begin.
Make it so, number one.
Yes. This is unexpected and wonderful. And every Trekkie in the world, and maybe it's new to you, you need to learn who this character Jean-Luc Picard is.
Oh.
Yes.
And so what has been blowing up on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and everywhere else, and maybe the timing is wonderful, but they've brought out the autobiography of Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh,
so not a Patrick Stewart.
No.
No.
So this is written first, like, as an autobiography by the character Jean-Luc Picard.
That is lovely.
So they've, we're talking 300 pages, nearly 270 some odd pages in an autobiography format. You can get it at cap5.tv/Picard. I'm just going to start this. It just arrived. And this will get you up to speed on kind of what has been going on for the past 20 years with Picard's life.
Okay, so we're having a bit of while you're doing the news, we're having a bit of a debate in the chat room.
Yes.
What do we think his role is going to be? I'm saying he's going to be an admiral.
An admiral.
I don't think they're going to make him a captain. I think he's going to be an admiral.
An admiral is very much a desk job, though, and so I picture him as more of a, he is a first contact kind of guy. He is
Why not a diplomatic admiral?
Perhaps.
Like on a ship.
A diplomat who is, not a desk diplomat, but somebody who is, wouldn't it be neat if he was on a ship? I
would love to see that.
I can't picture him sitting down at Starfleet headquarters and being
and having that internal really debate between he's got to be the admiral, and so it's not his ship, but he wants to call the shots.
What if it's Beverly's ship?
Oh, yeah, because they got married. Ho-ho.
This is going to be great.
Who knows? Theories? Comment below.
It's going to be the best Star Trek.
It will.
That's going to be amazing.
Big thanks to Roy W. Nash, Orangeman, and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us this week. Thanks for watching the Category 5.tv newsroom. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all your tech news with a slight Linux bias. And for more free content, be sure to check out our website. From the Category 5.tv newsroom, I'm Sasha Rickman.
Thank you, Sasha. I'm Robbie Ferguson.
I'm Jeff Weston.
It has been a pleasure having you here with us this week. We're going to brush Sasha up on her Star Trek knowledge, and we will again be back next week, and looking forward to seeing you here. Take care.
Bye.